I did everything right. I tailored every federal application to the specific announcement, not just uploading the same resume 47 times. Yeah, each one its own project. The questionnaire, the narratives, the cover letter that had to somehow say I had 30 years of federal experience without sounding like I'm applying for a retirement plaque. I applied to bases in Germany, in Italy, in Belgium. I prayed over every single submission, and I mean everyone. I clicked submit and whispered, "Okay, God, this one's yours, big dog." And you know what happened? Almost nothing. I did get one callback, one, from Landstuhl, Germany. And y'all, I'm not going to tell you what that one call did to me, because sometimes a single "we'd like to talk" in the middle of 47 silences is almost harder than the silence itself. Stick around. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, welcome back to Ways of Change. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa. This is part 3 of starting over at 59. And today we're talking about the season that nobody prepares you for. The in-between. The part where you've done everything right and nothing is happening. So let's take a few minutes to examine it. Here's what nobody tells you about starting over at this age. The silence after you hit submit, it's not empty, it's loud. Y'all, let me walk you through what this actually looks like for me. Because I think when people hear overseas job hunt, they picture something glamorous. International phone calls, suitcases, a countdown. It's not glamorous, y'all. It's me at my desk at 5:30 in the morning, because that's when I think the new federal announcements post. I think. I'm not sure. And let me tell you something about USAJobs. It's not designed for the faint of heart. No, it's not. Every single application is its own beast. You don't just upload a resume and call it done. You answer occupational questionnaires. You write narratives about specialized experience. You prove in writing that you've done the thing that they're asking about, even if you've done it for 30 years and the answer feels obvious. The first week, I was checking my email like a teenager waiting for a text. Y'all know how they do. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Every notification made my heart jump, and it was always something ridiculous. A sales at Kohl's, a reminder to schedule my next dental cleaning. I'm over here waiting to hear if I'm moving to Germany, and my inbox wants to know if I need a dental appointment. Week 2, that's when the questions started. Quiet at first. Did I miss a checkbox? Did I upload the wrong document? Am I too old? Did God change his mind? Hold on now. Because here's where I almost made a decision that I would have regretted for the rest of my life. I almost started applying to jobs I didn't even want, just to hear something. Anything. I caught myself on USAJobs at 11 o'clock at night, y'all. 11 o'clock. Looking at announcements and locations I'd never want to live. Omaha, Nebraska, I'm looking at you. For grades I'm overqualified for, just hoping something would land. Because the silence was so loud, I was willing to settle for any noise. Think about it. Isn't that what we do when nothing is happening? We settle. We lower the bar. We convince ourselves that any answer is better than no answer. But here's what I realized, and this took me weeks to understand. The silence is not rejection. The silence is not proof you did something wrong. The silence is soil. Yeah, when a farmer plants seeds, there's a whole season where the ground looks exactly the same. Nothing visible, nothing measurable. But underground, roots are spreading. The seed is cracking open. Something is happening. It's just not ready to break the surface yet. And if the farmer digs up the seeds to check on them, he kills what's growing. So here's what I realized. The silence wasn't the enemy. The silence wasn't even the hardest part. The hardest part was what the silence almost made me do. Y'all, I almost rewrote the entire story God gave me. And I almost did it quietly without telling anybody so nobody would know I was doubting. There were 3 temptations, 3 things the silence almost talked me into. And I'm naming them now because I know somebody watching this is in the middle of one of them right now. Temptation number 1, panic applying. I started looking at jobs that had nothing to do with my vision, nothing to do with Germany or Mauritius. I just needed to hear something. It didn't matter if I wanted the job or not. I wanted the validation, the proof that I was still hireable, still visible, still relevant. But here's what nobody tells you about panic applying. You're not actually looking for a job. You're looking for proof that you matter. And if you get a yes for a position you don't even want, you haven't solved the problem. Not really. You've just traded one kind of stuff for another. Temptation number 2. Now this one was harder. I started rewriting the story, y'all. Maybe I heard God wrong. Maybe Germany was just a nice idea, something to dream about, not actually do. Maybe I made the whole thing up because I needed something to hope for, and now reality is catching up. Y'all, that's a dangerous place to live, because once you start questioning whether you heard God, you could talk yourself out of anything. Every promise becomes just a thought. Every vision becomes just a phase. But I went back to the Word, and Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, I held on to this verse like it was a lifeline. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Translation, just because it's late doesn't mean it's canceled. Temptation number 3, performing productivity. Oof. Y'all, out of my anxiety, I color-coded a spreadsheet. I had columns and tabs. I had a system for tracking which applications were pending, which ones were referred, which ones were probably not even read by a human. As if making the spreadsheet prettier would make me feel less invisible. Think about it. How many of us stay busy just to avoid sitting still? Because when you sit still, when you stop applying and refreshing and organizing, you have to actually feel it. The disappointment, the fear, the questions you don't have the answers for. So here's what I realized. The farmer doesn't dig up the seeds to check on them. He doesn't pace around the fields asking, "Are you growing? Are you dead? Should I plant something else?" He waters the ground. He pulls the weeds and he waits. Not passive waiting, not giving up, but active, faithful, keep showing up waiting. And then on a Tuesday, the ground cracked. The email came from Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany. And y'all, I almost didn't open it. Not because I wasn't excited, I was, but because I was terrified. I had been praying for a door to open, and then it cracked, and I panicked, because now it's real. Tuesday morning, I was going through my usual routine, coffee, quiet time, check the inbox, even though I told myself I wouldn't. And there it was, Landstuhl. They wanted to talk to me. Not a form letter, not an auto reply, a real person with a real email address, asking when was I available for an interview. Y'all, I sat there staring at the screen. I know that sounds silly. This is what I wanted, right? This is what I prayed for. But when it actually happened, when the silence broke, I realized I had gotten comfortable with the silence. The silence was painful, yes, but it was familiar. An interview? An actual conversation where someone evaluates whether they wanted to hire me? That's vulnerability. That's putting myself out there in a way that's even scarier than clicking submit. But y'all, the interview went well, like I said the other day, promising even. They asked good questions, I gave good answers. For 45 minutes, I wasn't a 59-year-old woman starting over. I was a candidate with 30 years of experience who knew exactly what she brought to the table. And then more silence. So here's what I find so aggravating about getting one call back. It raises the stakes. Before Landstuhl, I could protect myself. The system is broken. They're not even reading the resumes. Federal hiring takes forever. It's not me, it's the process. But one interview, one real conversation with a real person means they are reading, they are considering, and now silence feels personal. But what if, y'all, stay with me here, what if one callback wasn't just about that one job? What if it was proof? Proof that the system works, that my resume works, that I work, just not on my timeline. Psalm 27, verse 14 says, wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Notice it doesn't say wait passively. It doesn't say sit on the couch and hope something changes. It says wait with strength, wait with heart, wait like it's an action, not a punishment. Yeah, I've been waiting like it's a punishment. I've been waiting like the silence means I did something wrong. But what if the silence is not a closed door? What if it's a hallway? You're not stuck in the hallway, you're moving through it. You just can't see the other side yet. So I stopped waiting like it was punishment, y'all. And I started doing 4 things differently. I want to be real careful here because I'm not about to tell you I figured it all out. I haven't. I'm not about to give you a 5-step formula for making the waiting feel good because it doesn't feel good. It's hard. But I found 4 things that are actually helping me, not as theory, but as practice. And I'm going to share them because somebody watching this needs to hear this today. Number 1, I stopped checking the inbox first thing in the morning. That sounds small, I know, but y'all, it wasn't. For weeks, the first thing I did every day was to open my email looking for proof that my life was moving forward. That's a terrible way to start the morning because if there is nothing there, and most mornings there was nothing there, you're already started the day feeling rejected. Before you even brush your teeth, you've handed your piece over to an inbox that is as ruthless as a mafia crime boss. So now I start with prayer, with my coffee, with my journal. I give God the first part of my day, not USAJobs. And let me tell you, it changes things. It does. My peace isn't tied to an email that hasn't arrived yet. It's tied to a God who already knows where I'm going. Number 2, I started a done list instead of a to-do list. Every day, at the end of the day, I write down what I already did. I applied to 3 announcements. I tailored my resume. I wrote a cover letter. I prayed. I showed up. It's not about being productive. It's about reminding myself I'm still moving. Because when nothing is happening on the outside, it's easy to convince yourself nothing is happening on the inside either. And that's a straight up lie. A to-do list says, here's things you haven't done yet. But a done list says, here's proof you showed up. On the hard days, y'all, I need proof. Number 3, I give myself 10 minutes a day to feel the disappointment. I don't pretend I'm fine when I'm not. I stopped spiritualizing my way out of hard feelings. Now I let them sit for 10 minutes. I get frustrated. I get sad. I ask God the hard questions. And then I close the door on it. The feelings get to sit at the table, but they don't get to run the meeting. I used to let disappointment take the whole day. Now they get 10 minutes. And y'all, that's not nothing. That's growth. I used to spiral for 3 days. Now I spiral for 10 minutes. That's progress. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. Number 4, I'm still applying. But now from a place of I'm choosing, not I'm begging. That's the shift. That's the whole thing. When I was applying from desperation, please, anything, just pick me. Every silence felt like a verdict. I'm not good enough. I'm too old. I don't belong here. But when I apply from I'm choosing Germany, I'm choosing this career, I'm choosing this lateral move or this next chapter, the silence doesn't get to define me anymore. Landstuhl proves something. The process works. My resume works. I work. One yes, or even we like to talk, is all the evidence I need that I'm headed in the right direction. But y'all, this isn't just about me. And this isn't just about federal jobs in Germany. So let me ask you something. Maybe you're not waiting on a federal job overseas. Maybe you're not even thinking about Germany. But I bet you're somewhere between who you were and who you're becoming. And nothing is happening. And you're wondering if you made a mistake. I want to talk to that person right now. Because here's what I've learned. The in-between season, it looks the same for all of us. Whether you're waiting on a job offer or a healed relationship or a dream you're not sure you're qualified for. The silence feels the same. The questions feel the same. Did I do something wrong? Should I have stayed where I was? Am I running out of time? And here's what I want to say to you. The thing I have to remind myself every single day. The in-between season is not a punishment. It's not proof you're doing it wrong. It's not a waiting room you have to decorate and pretend you're staying in forever. It's a hallway. And a hallway is not a destination, y'all. A hallway is a passage. You don't build a life in a hallway. You don't hang up your dreams and settle in. You keep walking. You keep believing. You keep moving. You keep applying whatever applying looks like for you. Let me share something else too. We tend to grieve expectations. I want you to listen to me now. The timeline we created, the story we wrote in our head about when things were supposed to happen and how they were supposed to look. But what if the detour is the path? What if the silence is the preparation? What if the one callback, the one small fragile sign is the proof you need that you're headed in the right direction? So here's the journal prompt I have for you today. I want you to really sit with this. What is the silence teaching you that noise never could? What is the silence teaching you that noise never could? And if you got one sign, one small, quiet confirmation that you're on the right path, would you even recognize it? Or would you be so focused on what hasn't happened yet that you miss what's happening right now? Sit with that. And do me a favor. Let me know in the comments. What are you waiting on right now? What application? And I don't just mean jobs. What applications are you afraid to submit? I want to know that I'm not in this hallway by myself. If this episode resonated with you, if you're in your own in-between season, share this with one person who's standing in their own hallway. Sometimes the most powerful things you could tell someone is, me too. Part 4 is coming, y'all. And whatever happens with Landstuhl, whatever door opens next, you're going to hear about it right here first. If you're in the thick of your own waiting season, I created something exactly for this place. The Peace Before the Pivot Toolkit. It's 50% off right now. The link is down below. I built it for the silence, for the in-between, for the part where nothing is happening and you need to remember why you started. I'm Vanessa, and this is Ways of Change. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, you're never too late, and your peace is never too far. Bye now.